After over a month-long break, competitive action in the Cinch Premiership returns to Easter Road. Livingston make the short journey across the M8 to take on Hibs this afternoon. Both sides coming to this one off the back of narrow defeats. Hibs put up a good fight against Rangers, but ultimately fell short, whilst Livingston were beaten by Celtic in midweek. It's Christmas Eve, it's Hibs versus Livingston, and action begins from 2 o'clock. Yes, hello and welcome to the pre-match build-up show with myself, Gavin Rittoo, and I'm delighted to be joined by the one, the only Pat Stanton. Pat, it's great to have you here. How are you today?
Hello, just looking forward to a good result.
Yeah, Christmas Eve, of course. The fixture at Christmas normally takes place on Boxing Day, but how much are you looking forward to the game today?
Yeah, looking forward to it very much. But time we've started picking up some points, you know, it's still close, the league, you know, and the fact that there's 3 points for a win or whatever, but you've got to start picking them up soon.
Mm-hmm. In terms of your career, did you ever play on Christmas Eve, or were you normally the Boxing Day fixture?
I think I can remember playing on Christmas Eve, yes, but you finished early, but it was, yeah, at that time you're just anxious to get home.
Yeah. How's your Christmas planning going? Have you got some last minute shopping to do? Or all good?
I'm like a lot of other chaps. You get told what's happening at this time of the year. You know, the big boss cracks the whip, and you just got to go along with it. But it's for the kids. You know, it's great for the children and great for the big kids as well.
Yeah, definitely. And in terms of the games today, obviously had one game so far, played Rangers at Ibrox. What do you think we need to do this afternoon to make sure we get a positive result?
I think you just take, at this stage and the way things are, you just take each game as it comes. You know, Hibs did okay at Ibrox, eventually got beat, but don't get all caught up in things. You know, just take each game as it comes and just get on with it, and hopefully when the chances come along to take them, and that's vital at this time. You know, just score a goal, takes 2 to beat you. Yeah,
definitely. As you mentioned at the top of the show, Hibs did restart their Cinch Premiership campaign at Ibrox, a narrow 3-2 defeat. Here's a reminder of how the action unfolded.
Do this one in left-footed. Decent delivery, it's there! Hibs are ahead! And it's Ryan Porteous. A super delivery from Joe Newell. And Ryan Porteous, no one jumped with him at all there, Joel. He was just all alone to bullet the header beyond Alan McGregor, and he's taking great pleasure in noising up the Rangers support.
Very much enjoying that one.
It's a good solid header, but he's got himself in between Tillman and Tavernier. Tavernier's looking at Malik Tillman saying he was your man. Tillman's looking at Tavernier saying no, he was yours. Easily muscled off that one by James Sands. Ryan Kent, Sakala gets the shot away and scores. Too easy. His defence standing off the Rangers striker as the ball was played into his path.
I think it stemmed from Johan. He's received the ball wide left. He's not lifted his head, and he's dribbled into a compacted area and kind of lost possession, and for me it stems from there, Cliff, but you're right, you can't make contact in the box there, but we can certainly get closer.
It's a frustrating goal to lose. Chris Cadden obviously his arms behind his back there just in case the shot does get hit at him, but I just feel that the defenders weren't close enough. We're up the other end, we've scored again! Kevin Nisbet, unbelievable. Long ball played forward. Kevin Nisbet gets himself into the penalty area. It's a poor clearance from Rangers. It's played forward by Chabraya, and Nisbet beats Alan McGregor superbly.
Yeah, it's another poor goal to lose from a Rangers perspective. Like you said, didn't clear the ball well. I thought James Sands got caught on his heels, but it takes a nick into Kevin Nisbet's path, and he's done fantastically well to finish first time beyond Alan McGregor.
He certainly has. 16 minutes on the clock. Rangers won, Hibs 2, 3 goals in the opening quarter of an hour or so. Probably fair to say at the moment defences are not on top. Need to continue to do so. Tavernier with the corner on this near side. It's a chance and it's in the net. Rangers have the equaliser. Ryan Jack, we said earlier on, he's not a prolific goal scorer, but even he couldn't miss from that distance. and unfortunately succession of Rangers corners, and Hibs couldn't deal with that one.
Yeah, you can see Tillman just gets the run and the jump on Chris Cadden, and it's a corner they've worked a couple of times this season, and unfortunately we don't win the first nor second ball, and it's 2-2 here at Ibrox.
Kevin Nisbet does well, but he can't nod it down into the path of Josh Campbell, but he's forced Rangers back into their own half. Lundstrom again down this near side for Tavernier. Tillman is inside the area. Good touch from Tillman, cuts it back. Morelos rolls the ball into the net. And that was great work, you have to say, by Malik Tillman. Joel, he did really well to keep possession inside the area.
Yes, a very dramatic night at Ibrox as we take a look at the Cinch Premiership table. The games are coming thick and fast at the moment. Hibs currently sit 8th, 3 points behind Livingston in 6th, but it's very tight in there, and only a few points separate 3rd and 10th as well. Pat, in terms of the league table, we're just looking at it now. It is very tight in there, and a couple of wins can really, you can climb a few places in very short time.
Yeah, you can, a couple of results and you shoot back up the league. It's the size of the league, the 3 points for a win, all sorts of things, but you've got to take advantage of these games, go into them, and you've got to go into them thinking you can win.
Mm-hmm.
Like say, Ibrox is never an easy place to go, but you've got to go in there, you're not just in there for to make up the numbers. You've got to see yourself winning at the end of that game, and if you've got that attitude, it gives you a chance.
Yeah, what did you make of the performance at Ibrox?
I think they played okay up to a point, but I think the fact when they went ahead, I think maybe they were it was almost how are we ahead? You were ahead because you were playing well, and you don't go into a shell and allow Rangers to dominate, which you expect Rangers to do that, and if you're a young player. And if you're looking to make a name for yourself, it's places like Ibrox you go to Celtic Park, and people sit up and say, this kid's a good player, and that's where you're judged.
Yeah, it was very much a kind of game of two halves, wasn't it? First half kind of came out flying, got those couple of early goals, and then second half just kind of faded away a wee bit.
Yeah, the half-time makes it another game. You've done well in the first 45 minutes, you have your break, and then you go out again, and you've got to start the same again, and you might find that for the first 10-15 minutes or so they're just playing themselves back into the second half, but the game starts when the referee blows the whistle, and like I say, sometimes the worst thing that can happen to you is half time.
Yeah, for sure, and certainly happened, as you mentioned, in that game. But I guess one positive to take from the game is the return of Kevin Nisbet. He got his first competitive start in over 10 months. How big a player could he be for Hibs in the second half of the season?
Yeah, well, he's been injured, and Boyle's been injured, and when if the manager's sitting down picking his team, these are two names that will go probably in first, with one or two others that go in right away, and to have these chaps missing, that's a big handicap for the Hibs. It's just your depth and player, but they've not been lucky with injuries. I can say that about them.
Mm-hmm. How impressed were you with Kevin Nisbet at Ibrox, and in terms of a player of his kind of calibre? I think he can really make a difference.
Oh yeah, he can score goals, and he proved it, and he's looking fit, and he'll only benefit for coming back and getting these games under his belt and just taking it from there. But he certainly is, if you're playing away at the back and he's up front, you always fancy your chances.
Mm-hmm. In terms of today's game then, you mentioned kind of a game of two halves. You think it really much is about getting that full 90-minute performance today against Livingston? That's right.
And it'll be a difficult game here. Livingston will come here. It's a great stadium to play in. They'll lift their game, and they've done very well. And so they'll come expecting to do well. So go out there and just play, give it your best shot. That's all you're wanting at this stage of the season, just to go out and play. There's a lot to play for, and games like this crop up. So you go to Ibrox, and it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough against Livingston as well.
Yeah, for sure. Kickoff is fast approaching here at Easter Road, and earlier we caught up with Lee Johnson, who shared his pre-match thoughts with Adam Tomlinson.
Lee, obviously a Christmas Eve fixture, something that's a little bit different to you and I, but for the supporters, obviously it's been a 6-year wait for something like this.
Oh really? Interesting to know. Yeah, listen, Christmas is a time obviously for family and to make sure that you have fun, and hopefully that fun will be come to Easter Road and watch a really good performance and a win, because that's what we want. We want to send everybody home happy. We're desperate for the 3 points, of course we are, and we want to sit down to our Christmas dinner on Sunday very content that we've won 3 points. It'd be a difficult game, we know that, we take nothing for granted. We haven't been in the best form, but I do think our performances have been better than the points we've taken, so that consistency hopefully can continue into the game and we can get that bit of luck that we need.
Yeah, obviously playing against the Livingston side that beat us earlier on this season. What threats have they got, especially away from home, and how do you combat that?
Well, I think they're a very hard working side, so our angle making needs to be bigger, better. The detail on the pass needs to be very good. We need to not get frustrated. We need to utilise the ball well, not let any team off the hook through bad crosses, like bad finishing. And they're very resolute, so they defend their box well, so therefore it becomes a numbers game to make sure that we do attack the box and get numbers in the box. On the flip side of that, obviously they've got the attacking threats, and they've got a direct approach, but from where they then play from a position of strength, and we've got to make sure that we win both boxes, we don't concede, and then that gives us a position of strength to go and be creative moving forward.
Yeah, and you've had just over a week as well to prepare for this one. How useful has that time period been going into what is a very busy couple of weeks following?
Listen, the preparation is always key. I think that's where the players get the confidence from. We're coming off the back of a performance that we had a lot of positives from, so we've been able to really hone in on those positives, and it will be a completely different game on Saturday, so there'll have to be a slight tweak of mindset on how we perform, and I think our fans become just a massive important factor in that. We want to see this through. We want to make sure that we play our way, but most importantly, certainly at this moment in time, is obviously getting the 3 points.
Yeah, just finally, will there be anyone else back this weekend into the squad?
No.
Perfect. Good luck.
Cheers. Thank you.
Yeah, we just heard from Lee Johnson there, who's speaking there about the importance of getting it right in both boxes, both attacking and defence. How key will that be today?
Yeah, well, the games are decided there in the goal mouth, and you've got to go in looking to score goals. I think sometimes balls are played into the opposition penalty area, and we've got players maybe standing out the picture. You won't score goals standing outside the 18-yard box. You've got to go in. You might go in there about maybe 20 times and get nothing, but at the 21st time you might go in, you might get the winner. But you won't do that if you're standing watching where the ball's a ball flashing across the goal and nobody there to turn it in. And should go looking for these things. They've got the great goal scorers over the years. The guys who, if you'd have said to them, why did you go in there? Well, I felt maybe there was a chance there. But so these guys go in looking for the half chance, but you won't score a goal if you're standing 20 yards out.
Yeah. Would you say it's fair to say Josh Campbell this season, he's probably one who has probably been getting into more advanced areas of the pitch and has been looking for goals, and we've seen that he's scored 5 already this season.
Yeah, it's just having a bit confidence in your ability. I'll go in here to see if I can get something out of this, and that's great. Players should be prepared to do that. You just don't want to come to and say, well, the crosses they're coming in too fast or they're coming in too slow, and you stand and spectate. I've played in teams like that. I've been guilty of that at times. But that's not the answer. The answer is to go in there on the off chance that things might just face up for you. And it's amazing if you go looking for it, it might just turn up.
Well, one thing I noticed from the game at Ibrox was Ryan Porteous playing a little bit further forward in midfield, kind of sitting in front of the back four. What did you make of that?
Well, he played okay at the back. He's a good player. It doesn't surprise me that you can put him in different positions. He'll give you 100%. Whereas you get other players who you might move them out of a position and they'll say, you know, I'm a forward, I'm not a defender, and they sort of go in their shell and they really don't play. But he's welcome with it, and it's good. It's a great attitude to have that. He'll give 100%. Doesn't matter where you play him.
Yeah, for sure. Right, time for a quick commercial break now, but when we come back we'll hear from Hibs forward Ellie Ewan, and we'll take a trip down memory lane. We'll be revisiting one of the greatest games in history nearly 50 years ago. Join us then.
Simplexity Travel is made up of some of London's leading bespoke travel managers. Simplexity specialise in luxury travel services for corporate and private clients, groups and individuals who lead busy lives. Simplexity will simplify challenging schedules and complex trip itineraries, ensuring our clients always travel with complete peace of mind and in perfect luxury. Simplexity Travel, making luxury travel simple.
Welcome back as we continue to build up for Hibs against Livingston later this afternoon. Before the break, we heard from Lee Johnston. Earlier, I caught up with Ellie and Ewan, who previewed today's match. Ellie, we're looking ahead to tomorrow's fixture, Livingston at Easter Road. How much are the lads looking forward to that one?
Oh, the team is happy, I think. We lost against Rangers, but there was some good things, and we worked on these things during the training, and now I think we're ready for tomorrow.
Yeah, what kind of challenge do you expect from Livingston? Obviously, you've played them before this season.
We expect for a win for sure, because the first game we lost at Livingston 2-1. And I think we are better than the beginning of the season, so we're confident to win tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. In terms of your own performances this season, what have you made of your start to life at Hibs?
I think we are more confident to play at Easter Road, but the last games as the road we lost, but we stay confident. We have the Ibis fans, so we need them always, and I think we could make a good game tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. And in terms of your own individual performances, what have you made of them so far, and how much are you enjoying your time here at Hibs?
Now it's cold, so I stay home. But my games at home was good, and I keep working in the training out of the pitch, and I stay confident for the next game.
Mm-hmm. You've played striker, you've played out wide on the wing. Have you got a favourite position that you prefer playing in this team?
I think I can play on the wings because of my pace, and I'm a smart player, so I can play and striker on the left, on the right. It's not a problem for me. The most important is play, and when I play, I'm happy, so it's good for me.
Appreciate your time, Ellie. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Just heard from Ellie Ewan there. Pat, what have you made of Ellie's start to his life at Hibs?
Yeah, it's not been an easy time for newcomers coming into the club at this time, you know, and players, people expect players to hit the ground running and show form right away. Sometimes some players take a wee while to settle in, other ones just do it right away. But I think when players come here or go to any club, I think you bring something with you. You know, you can't expect the manager to take you by the hand and show you every step of the park. You've got to bring something with you and show people that's what you're about. And it's something the player has. And if he's not got it, you won't put it in him.
Mm-hmm. He's a player that's got shown flashes of it this season. He's got a lot of pace and energy, and that's kind of what he brings to this game. In terms of, as a striker, he scored 1 goal, he's got a few assists as well. How much of his performance, do you think, is based on confidence?
Yeah, forwards, you know, goal scorers, they can miss a couple. You see some real good forwards and they'll miss a couple, and it doesn't affect their confidence. They know they're good players and it'll come. Other players might miss a couple and it'll take a wee while for them to recover from it. Their confidence goes a wee bit. Everybody's different, but one thing's for sure, the answer lies with you.
Yeah, for sure. And I asked him in that interview where he thinks his best position is, and he just said he was happy to be playing, really, whether it's out wide or up front. Where do you think Ellie Ewan's most effective for Hibs?
Well, it's a good attitude to say that you would play anywhere. You know, a lot of players prefer to say I'm a centre forward, and that's it, full stop. Whereas if you say to them, like, fancy trying somewhere else just to see if you can do it. And sometimes when you do that with a player, you discover another player, and the player's got to be open-minded about it. So, yeah, it's like I say, it's a difficult time. There's been injuries, the whole thing. Players have been asked to play in different positions, but you're a professional player. You give 100%. Doesn't matter where you are.
Yeah, for sure. And fingers crossed, Ellie can get on the score sheet at Easter Road later this afternoon. Now we're going to take a slight diversion away from this afternoon's match. It is Christmas after all, and over the winter we've been preparing a very special documentary titled 0-7, remembering that great game on New Year's Day over 50 years ago.
O'Rourke! 9 minutes gone. Heart still Hibernian 1. Jim O'Rourke the scorer.
We kind of felt that something was going to happen here.
Looking for Gordon, and he's found him. Brilliant goal by Alan Gordon.
And sometimes everything just goes right.
New Year's Day was always a massive, massive game.
We knew we were a better side. I didn't think we were going to win 7-0.
On that day, Hibs turned up.
But then the second half started and we just continued the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I think Pat maybe got fed up.
Pat Stanton bursting through.
Although one gets the impression that Hibs are just easing up slightly, and then there'll be another quick burst coming along soon. Stanton.
Pat picked the ball up halfway line, runs forward, beats the keeper. It's going in, and wee Jimmy
stole that one from Pat Stanton. I think the ball was going in the net. The Hibs fans were certainly cheering it before it hit the back of the net. Jimmy slid in to knock it into the back of the net.
Some pal, eh? I'd have been delighted to have scored a goal at Tynecastle that day. And for your best pal to go in and put a damper on things, but I forgave him.
I think it was Alan Anderson who was in his wake. And today, the centre half would have clipped Pat 20 yards into their own half, but he didn't.
Stanton.
And Pat kept running and Pat kept running. And actually I think his shot would have gone in.
Beautiful goal, number 6. 10.5 minutes into the second half. Hearts 0, Hibernian 6.
I'm not sure if it would have gone in because maybe not enough speed on the ball, but yeah, he made sure, that was the main thing, you know. But there was one or two others who would have been a bit annoyed if they'd have done that, but no, Jimmy it was okay with me with Jimmy.
The 07 documentary is available to watch both on Hibs TV and for free on YouTube. Pat, looking back at some of the memories in that game, the documentary is a fantastic watch. What are your memories from that day?
Oh, Tynecastle, New Year's Day, and a result like that. But at the start of the game, I think Hearts had a couple of chances, and I think they snatched at them and they missed them, and then we got sort of up ahead of steam and we kept going. The big worry was for us was at the half time again, you know, the half time break, what would happen in the second half, but we got it going right away in the second half. But that was a major concern. Eddie Turnbull, he was same again, what I'd mentioned earlier on, that it becomes another game if you don't go out and do what you did. But we did, we caught on it and we just continued going.
Yeah, and we saw that clip there of you bursting through the middle of the pitch, slot it past the keeper before Jimmy went in and stole it. Did you hold a grudge, or were you just happy to score another goal?
Oh no, I think it just as long as it went in, it didn't matter to me if the referee had kicked it in. It wouldn't bother me. But yeah, there was a chance it was going in, but the important thing was to make sure it was in. You know, it's easy to turn away and think it's going in, but he made sure. And that's just a professional attitude to it.
Yeah, and we certainly had great fun making the documentary and reliving some of those memories. What was it like to be a part of? Did you enjoy taking that trip back down memory lane?
Oh yeah, that's right. When you look back, you don't, you know, it's hard to believe it's all these years ago that it took place. And then you looked on the park and the players that were playing. A lot of good players on the Hearts side as well. Good players on the Hibs side. It was a real good game, but like I say, Hearts had chances early on and just sort of they missed them, and I don't know if they maybe went in their shell a wee bit, but Hibs got a grip of the game and kept it going in the second half as well.
Yeah, and at the time or just after the game, did you know that this game would be talked about for years and years, decades after? Or did you know that you'd made history?
Well, at the time, maybe not. Maybe at the time. Because I can remember in the dressing room after the game, and Jimmy and I, you know, used to go for a couple of pints after the game and talk about the game, just go over it, and I just went straight home. I was just,
no celebration.
No, I was still excited about the whole thing, being a Hibs supporter, but you're still, like I say, it was going over in your head. And I just felt, oh no, I've had enough excitement for the day. And I went home. It wouldn't happen nowadays though, but it did then. It was even at least coming for the party in Edinburgh, I came from bumping into my pals some of them were Hearts supporters, most of them were Hearts supporters. And they just, most of them just shook their head. But they spoke, you know, it's only a game.
Yeah, sure. And Well, it'll be 50 years come January the 1st anniversary of that game, and obviously we play Hearts on the 2nd. There's something special about the New Year derby, isn't there? It's the one that the fans always look for in the calendar.
That's right, it's always been like that. It's always been that way, and it's particularly the fact it's New Year and all that goes with it, and it's always an exciting games, you know. And if you're a player and somebody has to take you aside and try and point out to you how important it is for the supporters to get a result on New Year's Day, whether it's at Easter Road or at Tynecastle, if you need somebody to remind you there, you'd be as well no going.
Yeah, well, it's a busy kind of festive football period, obviously. Livingston today, and we've got Celtic and then Hearts. Do you think the players and the management, do you think they kind of set we kind of challenges for the number of points that we need to take, or?
I think at this stage you just take everything as it comes.
Yeah.
You know, one game at a time. You can look ahead, but I think it's just important just take each game as it comes and get back on the road again. No point in saying I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, because it never happens like that. You just go out there and do your best, and then the next game will take care of itself.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thanks very much for joining us again, Pat. Kickoff is fast approaching here at Easter Road, and I'm afraid that is all we've got time for on today's build-up show. We'll be back again on the 28th of December as we take on Celtic. But let's hope that Hibs can deliver us an early Christmas present this afternoon. The action begins against Livingston from 2 o'clock. For now, we'll leave you in the capable hands of our commentary team, Dan Powers and Kevin Harper.